Anyway, I got cut off there, so I'm gonna try to finish the story. The thing that infuriates me the most, besides, somebody picking a kid up by the head, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, in what fucking universe is that a cool thing to do? Anyway, it was one of the first memories of a man saying, your experience is inaccurate. If you think you're feeling pain, you're not. I'm going to tell you, you are not in pain. If you relax, it won't hurt. So like, I mean, how fucked up is that? Like, oh, I'm doing something to you that you're saying no to, but, just relax and you'll like it. Like, God, I want to fucking knock your head off. Because, basically, that's the bullshit that I grew up with. And, unfortunately, my stepdad, who I grew up with, was definitely not his best self when we, in my childhood, from about, I don't know, my brothers were born when I was 8 and 10 years old, and so obviously they were toddlers and young and little boys. They had no fucking idea what was going on, and their dad grew up as they grew up, and he wasn't such a fucking asshole when they were older. And so unfortunately, fortunately, they had a different experience with their dad than I did. When I was a kid, he was still in his mid-20s, early 30s. He had not worked through his trauma. He felt like he was a big badass, and the way he spoke and the way he treated me was perfectly appropriate. And, I can't completely fault him because, I mean, in some ways, how he treated me was better. It was an elevation of his experience. He did try to do better than he grew up with. That doesn't mean that everything was fucking A-okay. He was extremely cruel with his words. Cruel to the point that at one point when I was a teenager, I remember I was just like curled up in a ball and crying. And I was like, I wish you would just fucking hit me because it would hurt less. And in my head, I'm also thinking, and I would have fucking signs. I would have bruises on me so that people would fucking believe me when I told them, like, look, this dude that everybody else loves because he's great for the community and he's awesome to adults, he fucking hurts me with his goddamn words. He slices me down. He cusses at me all the time. He calls me horrible fucking names. Tells me what a dumb bitch I am. Figure it out, you dumb bitch. Like, fuck, man. That hurt. So that's to start. But then when I'm about 11, 12 or so, I start getting into puberty. And all of a sudden the stuff that we used to do that was, that was fun, that we enjoyed, like me sitting on his lap or wrestling with the babies or, like getting hugs, like whatever, those all became dangerous. Those all became, oh, something has changed. What is it? I don't understand. Wait a minute. He didn't used to touch my butt like that. Oh, he just grabbed my boob. Like, what the hell is going on? So it was pretty fucking low key to begin with. But, it kept escalating and it kept going on. And it, once he started like consistently touching my ass, then I was like hyper vigilant, backing into corners and into walls to try to stay away from him. Of course I was saying no, don't do that. I don't like that. Please stop. I mean, thousands of motherfucking times. Thousands of fucking times. I screamed at him. I said it quietly. I wrote him notes. I did every fucking thing a kid can do to make you fucking stop. And I mean, I don't remember what my mom was doing. I don't remember if it was mostly when she wasn't in the room. I don't know. I mean, I recall when I brought it up at like 19, I don't think she was aware of how much it was, I think is the thing. She might have known that he was a fucking asshole and he kept touching me in ways that I was angry about. But, again, unfortunately, they both grew up in a way where me being touched on my butt or my boobs grabbed or being spoken to in a sexualized way was an improvement, was an elevation of my mother's experience where, like, it wasn't just touching and patting for her. And so on the one hand, of course I'm grateful that he never did, of course it would be rape, but he was always like, oh, you'll like it, it'll blah blah. Fuck you. Anyway, it wasn't as intense as what my mother experienced, or as what he experienced in lots of different ways. And eventually his mother, who had been my grandma, since I was like 5, and I called her every Sunday, and we chit-chatted, and we had such a good time. Well, one motherfucking Sunday, she says, oh, I hear about the trouble that your mom and Pete are having, and it's your fault. You should never have said anything. It's not a big deal if he's, touching you. That's just what happens. That's just what happens to women, and then you just... So, again, an illustration of she believed it was the norm to receive inappropriate touch from the men in your family or the men around you, and it, just fucking don't say anything, and it was my fault for saying something, causing trouble in their fucking marriage. And actually, it took a couple more years before my mom actually left him. But anywho, yeah, that was just a very long-term example. Very long term, like almost a decade. Like, I'm not quite sure when he stopped touching me, but I think it was sometime in college. I didn't go home for a couple of breaks, winter or summer. Well, I went home for summer, but I don't know. I can't remember when it stopped. I think it may have been when I went home for my first summer from college, and that's when I told Mom about it. And we went to therapy once, and it was fucked up. Anyhow, yeah, that was one extensive example of, Heather, you don't know what's best for you. You like it. Don't tell me you don't like it. Like, just every fucking variation of dismissal, denial, like downplaying, and I'm just still fucking mystified, actually, by just like how he could continually ignore my fucking no. And so, God, is it any goddamn surprise that I have some troubles out in the world identifying, like, if I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, is it appropriate to say something? Or is there politeness involved? Or what? Fuck, whatever. Like, basically, the whole point is fucking men fucking decided for me repeatedly whether or not something was painful, whether or not something was pleasurable, whether or not something was impactful, whether or not they needed to stop. They fucking decided for me. I did not get to decide for myself. I have not had body sovereignty and, like, a say over what happens to my body. Even now, I am in a community that does tend to orient towards giving each other hugs when they see each other. That's lovely. But you know what? I also grew up in that time where I was like, I don't want to give Uncle whatever a hug. Oh, come on, just give him a hug. I don't want so-and-so to kiss me. Oh, yeah, go give your uncle a hug. Go, whatever. Like, it was the forced hugs, right? And I hope that that's not so consistent anymore. I hope that people don't talk their kids into fucking hugging people when they don't want to. But so the current example is, I was at an event, and this dude that I've only met once in person, I mean, he's nice and all, and he knows that one of the things that I do for work is facilitate platonic cuddle workshops. So an assumption is made, I'm guessing, an assumption is made that I want to hug him. And he walks up to me, oh, you're Heather, right? Arms open, coming in, and I say, I am overstimulated right now. I think I actually said no thank you. I think I even said politely, no thank you, I am overwhelmed right now, or overstimulated right now. You know what that fucking did? That fucking asshole walked away all butthurt and didn't even look at me again the whole rest of the night, like he was fucking embarrassed and hurt or something because I said, no thank you, I am overstimulated. Did I say it all like sweet? No, I said, no, thank you. I am overstimulated. There is no blame in that. There is no like judgment of him. It's not even like any sort of way, like a, whatever the word is, like rejection of him, but he acted like I fucking rejected him. And you know what? He there was not even like this much, he didn't even like really look in my eye. Like, this is what I'm cool with. This is what I do when I see somebody that I'm open to hugging, is I open up, I look at them, If we need to say words, we say words. But, you know, if I go like this and they lean right in, then I don't need to ask. But if I go like this, like, want a hug? I'm pretty confident everybody I do or say that to knows that they have a choice. And often they say yes, but not always. And the people who come to offer me hugs I basically have to train them. Don't just assume I want a fucking hug. Even if I hugged you yesterday, I might not want to hug you today. It's a moment-to-moment decision. Sometimes I don't want fucking contact. So, yeah. Fucking men, you know what? Quit fucking choosing for us. Quit fucking looking at a woman and getting your butt hurt if you offer her something that she doesn't want. And don't ever fucking tell us that, oh, I didn't think that would bother you. Oh, I'm surprised that that's a problem for you. It's not a problem for me. Like, definitely don't fucking say that sort of shit. Ever. But just, like, a little bit of awareness that human beings in general, and I think particularly women, do not always want a fucking hug. And sometimes it just feels good to have some sovereignty and to just say no, just because you didn't get to say no lots of other times. So, yeah, respect our goddamn bodies, respect our goddamn boundaries. Don't assume that we want you to touch us. Maybe I'm just going to stop there because I'm pretty fucking wound up. Anyway, rant complete for now. I got to go in the house where that motherfucker who, like, dismissed, denied, and, you know, downplayed his fucking impact on me. He's in the fucking house. And so I keep trying to decide, am I ready to talk to him or am I going to lose my shit if I talk to him? I don't know. I got to decide. When is the right time so that I don't hurt his fucking feelings and get too big. I gotta protect the guy from my real feelings, and if I can't say it nice, then don't say anything at all.